Inflation numbers for September also came in at 2.1%. Jobless claims are down for the week, so we are seeing an economy that is firing on all cylinders. Price increases we saw and prices never coming down have created a more expensive world. The United States economy grew by 2.8% in Q3. Are these numbers average, solid, or are they disappointing? Now, in this video, we're going to discuss the latest economic data from the United States. We're going to talk about, is it bad, is it good, and most importantly, what does it mean for you and me? Now, before we get started, let me just say that if you like content like this, leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this and hit that thumbs up button for me. United States GDP grew by 2.8% in Q3 on an annualized basis. Now, this is less than the 3.1% that analysts expected and less than the 3% that the economy grew in Q2. Now, consumer spending was rock solid and accounted for 2/3 of all economic activity. Some say that's why the American economy is the envy of the world. While we do not have it perfect here by any means, but from a macroeconomic standpoint, the American consumer does not play around. The American consumer keeps the economy moving. Now, there was quite an uptick in consumer spending for the quarter. It was up by 3.7%, and all of this is before the holiday spending frenzy that we have coming up, so none of that is in the numbers yet, so we can expect Q4 to only increase because of the holiday season. Now, government spending was another big contributor for GDP growth. Federal spending shot up 9.7% with a 14.9% increase in defense spending. Now, imports, which take away from GDP, also jumped 11.2%, and that may have been the difference in 3% growth compared to the little less than 3% growth that we saw. Inflation numbers for September also came in at 2.1%. Jobless claims are down for the week, so we are seeing an economy that is firing on all cylinders. A lot of people still feel that the economy is bad, and a lot of that goes back to the inflationary period that we lived through during COVID. Supply chain issues, the price increases we saw, and prices never coming down have created a more expensive world. A lot of people are still trying to catch up financially to the post-COVID world. People are using credit cards and savings for purchases, and we see that in the personal savings numbers. It's down to 4.8% in Q3 compared to 5.2% recently. And those personal savings numbers have also been revised quite a bit lately. If you remember, a couple weeks ago we talked about a debt crisis or a consumer money crisis that you kind of have going on in the United States. People are just kind of running out of money. Well, at that time, those personal savings numbers, they kind of showed up at like 2%, 3%, much lower than you see right now. Well, they have been revised up to 4.8%, and those previous numbers that said 2 and 3 actually 5.2. So you got to take the numbers for what it is. All this stuff gets revised all the time, but the United States economy, all things considered, is doing pretty good. 2.8% GDP growth. While it's not the 3% that we were expecting, it is still pretty solid when you consider the size of the economy, growing at a pace of about 3%. A lot of it coming from consumers just kind of taking care of the economy, taking care of itself. It's kind of like a well-oiled machine. Now, the Federal Reserve has their next policy meeting November 7th, and it's widely expected that they're going to cut interest rates at that time by another 0.25%, so 0.25%. I don't think that any of the information, any of the data that we have seen recently, all of this new information is going to deter them off that path. I do think that that 0.25 rate cut is pretty much still on the table. It's pretty much what they're going to go with. Now, we'll see obviously in about a week or so, but I think that that is what's going to happen, and the numbers don't kind of take away from that. If you like content like this, leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this and hit that thumbs up button for me.